Hi guys, alright, so, after getting rid of that fucking stupid ass ghost box thing, everything's back to normal. So, I did talk to my grandma and she said that it was me. So yes, it was me. I got what I wanted, I got what I asked for. So I had doubt and I got a bunch of shit. So, mind over matter. It just shows that self-fulfilling prophecies are very real. So, no more of that. No more of that shit. I don't have time for that anymore. I'm too old for that. Too old to be waking up at noon. So yes, today was so much better. Woke up at 7:45. Felt pretty good. Felt really good today. A little tired, but everything's back to normal. Saged everything. I mean, like crazy. Gonna clean today. Do a bunch of spiritual cleaning. Physical, spiritual, all of it. It needs it. So, alright, so 5 true Evansville ghost stories. I don't know what my deal is. I love these. These are just incredible. So, alright. This is pretty cool too. So, alright, this is on courierpress.com. And Evansville is south of me. So, alright, so you may not believe in ghosts. A lot of us at the Courier and Press never did either, until we had experiences of our own. In honor of Halloween, here are 5 true chilling tales we've experienced in, around, and outside the Evansville area. So, I like these because you hear these all the time. You hear these all the time. And it's amazing. I love it. I just absolutely fucking love it. So, alright, it sounded like a child. I wonder what it could have been. What could have sounded like a child? My hair is wild today. Holy crap. It needs shaved. My sides, not my top. Alright, so. Alright, it sounded like a child. So it probably was. Alright, here we go. Oh, I need to. Ooh, there we go. Big fun. For older people. I'm checking. So, okay, when I was in my mid-20s, I worked at a newspaper in upstate New York along the Pennsylvania border. So this was exactly the kind of place that inspired Washington Irving to write The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Oh, I didn't know there was any connection. I love that. So with its terrifying headless horseman, a Hessian soldier forever looking for the head he lost in the Revolutionary War. So, in fact, there were a few graves of real Hessian soldiers scattered among the ancient cemeteries there. So the landscape was rugged, hills and dark hollows. Perfect place for the wee folk. Alright, so small railroad towns and secluded farms dotted winding river valleys. And that's what Indiana is. It's creepy. It's a creepy little state. Alright, so, to go on. I arrived in early October and moved into a huge red brick carriage house. Sounds like my old apartment. That had been converted to a garage and apartments. Maybe it was mine. Tucked away behind a Victorian mansion on a maple-lined street. It was a young writer's dream. Okay, yeah, totally. Okay, until the creepiness began. So, the first time something happened, a young couple upstairs invited me to watch football on TV. A wind chime hanging in a corner came alive, like it had been forcefully struck by an unseen hand. So it was wintertime and the windows were closed tight. I was startled. So were my neighbors. Not long after that, the couple moved out. Quitters. Okay. The upstairs apartment stayed empty the rest of my time there. Then the scratching began. Oh, who doesn't love scratching? Really. Every evening inside an interior wall. It's just bats, said the handyman. He might have been more convincing if he hadn't been so creepy himself. Well, it's Indiana. He had a strange habit of showing up unannounced at random times and without tools. That sounds like a stalker, not a ghost. So about the time I convinced myself that he was right, the scratching stopped, and something even more maddening began. Sleigh bells began jingling. Really? Sleigh bells? Wow. Alright. Wherever I was in the house, they jingled like they were with me in that room. I looked inside and outside, but never found a source. I began hearing footsteps running over my bedroom at night, along with the sound of a ball bouncing on the floor above. It sounded like a child. So I convinced the handyman to take me upstairs one afternoon to look around. All we found was a big empty space with a hayloft, where a hayloft had been. Some people would have been gone already, since I was a poor young reporter and really needed my security deposit back. Oh, I waited a few more months for my lease to end. Then, like my neighbors, I left as fast as I could. Alright, and that is Mark Wilson, Courier and Press reporter. Huh. Okay, that's interesting. So, alright, here's one called The Girl. Just The Girl. I know. Sounds boring. Alright, so it was the early 2000s. I was in 7th or 8th grade. Wow. I feel old. Staying the night at a friend's house. The two of us were on a conference call, chatting with some boys from class and making Easy Mac. Typical tween girl stuff. That doesn't sound like much of a conference call to me. I left the kitchen, rounded the corner to get something from her bedroom, and froze. Someone was staring right at me, maybe through me. They probably were, because you totally misused conference call. No, I'm joking. Okay, alright, so let's back up. Okay, I heard stories about my friend's house. Sometimes the wall of the cabinets in her house would open and close. Sometimes they were left open, and the piano would play by itself. Ooh, I wish that would happen for me. I wish that would happen. I would love it. Alright, so, where'd I go? Where did I go? Okay, the piano would play by itself. Maybe I dreamed that one, but I don't think so. So basically, I was already suspicious of paranormal activity in that place. So I see this girl about our age near the wall of cabinets. She was looking around the corner toward the kitchen, where we were laughing and carrying on. Once I found my voice, which seemed to take years, I shrieked and ran back through the kitchen, startling my friend and the boys on the phone. I'm pretty sure no one believed me. We went back to the floor. We went back to look for her, and she was gone. But I saw her in cliché Hollywood flat fashion. The old 50s Hollywood. That's amazing. Alright, so, with long dark hair wearing a long nightgown. Now before you go pointing fingers at me, no. It's not a girl from The Ring. Oh, I would love that. I would love to hear something like that go on. This happened just before that movie was released. Plus, it's been well over 7 days, and I'm still kicking. That's good. That's a plus. Maybe I made it all up in my head, but that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Megan blank. Courier and Press reporter. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. I wish they would do the story about my old apartment. I really do. If I knew what it was called, if I knew, it had a ballroom, I would totally do that one, but I have no clue. Alright, so the next one, the slave house. I hate that word, slave. Alright, so years ago I was doing a story with the legendary Gleaner writer Judy Jenkins, lucky, at the old slave house in southern Illinois. I remember it being a clear winter day when we visited the landmark, which was open to the public at the time. The owner gave us the obligatory tour of the house. The tour ended on the 3rd floor, where the cells and the slaves were kept in R. Okay, that's not proper. Believe me, if any place could be haunted, it is that place. Okay, so as the tour ended, Judy and the puppeteer, who told us we were the only other people in the house, returned to the first floor to do the interview. I told our guide I would like to stay a while on the third floor to take the photos. Never a good idea. I was taking some detail pictures of a pretty spooky looking ball and chain, about 4 feet from the stairs leading down. With my back to the stairs, I distinctly heard the sound of a child's wooden ball rolling down the steps. Within a second or two, I turned around and took a step toward the stairs and looked down. Nothing, no ball or anything. I walked down the steps to the bottom, still no ball, but I know what I heard. The whole thing sent chills up my spine, knowing that children were probably kept in some of those cells. Oh, okay, so there is a ball and chain. So a ball and chain languishes in the sun at the Crenshaw House, an old slaves' residence in southern Illinois. Alright. Ooh, this one's really cool. So Florence the Pyromaniac. Now if we only had Sally. Hypodermic Sally. Do any of you know who Hypodermic Sally is? If you do, comment below. So here we go with Florence, the Pyromaniac. Wow. Okay, so I've heard fists pounding on my bedroom door, only to open up and find no one there. When I was crashing on my dad's couch one summer, he woke up in the middle of the night and saw a translucent woman hovering above my sleeping body. Then there was that weird entity in my college apartment that took milk jugs out of the trash can and tossed them across the room. It's called recycling. Learn how to do it. So, but for some reason I still didn't believe in ghosts until I met Florence. Ooh, alright. Okay, so the graveyard at St. Luke Baptist Church has been adopted by the crew of Centaur as a community project. Alright, okay. So that's what my future wife and her sister called the thing that lived with them on the west side. So it would flush the toilet at random times, send alarm clocks blaring at 3 a.m., and stomp around the bedrooms of their townhouse apartment when no one else was upstairs. It's because you guys don't know how to recycle. I never witnessed any of that, though. So, being a fun-hating dipwad, I teased them for being paranoid. Well, there was your problem. Then the fire happened. We were unloading an obscene haul from Sam's Club one day. We'd bought a package of toothbrushes and set them atop the gas stove. Oh boy. So now, in order for the store to land its punch, you have to know a thing or two about the stove. It was old, and you really had to push on the knobs to ignite the gas. You guys know what I'm talking about, those old gas stoves where you have to literally push them in really hard. I had those in my apartment when I was 18. So, it was like opening a childproof pill bottle. Yeah, totally. They weren't something you could just bump and engage. So, we were stacking the last of the groceries into the refrigerator. So on the other side of the kitchen, when we smelled something strange, burning plastic. Ugh. We turned and saw a fire blooming. I love that. A fire was blooming. Was it now? Blooming into what? The caterpillar? The butterfly? Okay, so we turned around. We turned and saw a fire blooming around one of the burners. The poor toothbrushes were engulfed. Okay. Panicked, we extinguished the blaze. My wife looked around the kitchen, wide-eyed. Not cool, Florence said. After that, a weird tension filled the kitchen. One night, I got up to get a glass of water, and when I walked downstairs, it felt like the kitchen was encased in a bubble of dread. Nausea riddled my stomach. Whatever you do, my subconscious whimpered, don't go in that kitchen. And that is John Webb, Courier and Press columnist. I don't know. I don't know how convincing that is to me. Not very. Okay. Now we have The Old House. So this story has been told to me. Wait a minute, where did I go? This story was told to me by the town gossip. in a small Spencer County river town on the Ohio River. So I hesitate to get too specific with places and names to protect the family in this story. So it was an interesting tale, not to mention hard to believe. So I'm a bit of a skeptic. What can I say? I'm a journalist. Understandable. The story was so compelling I had to find the woman who had experienced the haunting. So it took a few months to locate her in her new apartment, but I succeeded and she was willing to recount her experience. So this is the story as best as I can recollect. Alright, so it must have been around 2001, a warmer than usual fall. A woman and her 2 young children, a boy 8 and a girl 5, were close to being homeless after a marital split. Without the funds to travel to another state to live with family, the trio was stuck, so they had a beater truck with no money for gas. When the mom had resigned herself to sleeping in the cab of their truck, an old friend came to rescue and offered them a place to stay. It was a property the friend had just bought for a great price. It needed some fixing up, but if the mom was willing to do the work, they would let the family stay there for free. So, the very same day, they pulled into the driveway of the home. It looked like it must have been built in the 1850s or before. A wrought iron fence surrounded the home that stood on a corner of the town's main street. So the grass, yellowed and dry, stood about knee-high. One of the windows on the second floor was shattered. The back door was hanging by one hinge. The family didn't care. They had a place to stay. Yes, totally. So they unloaded the truck and moved everything into the kitchen of the home. It was the only room with a fan, and the stagnant air was heavy. So mac and cheese was repaired. This is a reoccurring theme of macaroni and cheese. Mac and cheese was prepared on the gas stove while the kids colored in their coloring books. So Mom rolled out the sleeping bag. Okay, never mind. But the kids didn't climb in. It was too hot. Instead, they just laid down on the bags and tried to sleep. Tried, but didn't succeed. Ooh, and I wonder if you guys can see this little doll right there. Yeah, you can see her. She's creepy. She's very creepy. Alright, so that's when they heard the talking. Children's voices. The woman thought it must be the neighbor children and went outside to check. Her 2 children clinging to her waist. It was already past 9 p.m. and dark. Nobody was outside that she could see or hear. So back inside they went. As the kids began to settle down, the giggling began. 3 or 4 children were clearly giggling, and it sounded like it was coming from upstairs. Armed with a flashlight and a rolling pin. What is a rolling pin going to do for a ghost? Or anybody? I mean, at Martha Stewart, you could break her kneecaps with one, but... So... Okay, the mom left her children, now clutching each other on the same sleeping bag. The home had polished wooden floors. That sounds like my old apartment still. That creaked with each step. The stairs rose up through the center of the house with heavy wooden banisters ending in the opposite-facing curves. Sounds like my house. Or my old apartment still. That's weird. Okay, so she called the children to come out and to stop trying to scare them. The giggling grew louder, constant. She tried again to call them out. Her voice booming in the big, empty house. The giggling stopped. Silence. A long, long silence. And then the whispering began. She couldn't make out what they were saying, but the voices were real to her anyway. And her kids could hear them too. They hissed for her to come back, between quiet sobs. They were too afraid to cry aloud. She was already halfway up the stairs when the whispering stopped, and the temperature began to drop. The air now felt chill as a late November night. When the temperature fell, so did her courage. She spun around and ran down the stairs. Her children were already heading toward the door as she caught up to them. They climbed into their pickup truck and headed to the local convenience store and stayed the night in the parking lot, under the well-lit fluorescent lights. I wouldn't have left, but... Alright, so the next day, when her friend went to check on her, their mom and the kids were still outside the store. They recounted their story. The friend, while concerned, wasn't too surprised. It was the first time children's voices were heard in the empty home, and it wouldn't be the last. So, The home still stands vacant 17 years later. The young family moved to a new town downriver. Mom still talks about it. The boy and his sister refuse. The boy and his sister refuse. So he says, I drive by there from time to time, keeping my eyes on the window upstairs. Still broken. Denny Simmons, career and press photographer. That's creepy. That's really creepy. I mean, some of these stories are very different. Very different. So, alright. Well, I have another one for you guys. That's odd. I had another one lined up right here for you guys. Ooh, ouch. Okay, so now we do have the haunted asylum. We have more than one, which is amazing. I'm hearing things. I really think I'm hearing things. Ow. No, it's not. It's just my mother. Who is the most amazing person for buying me sushi yesterday. Thank you. Fucking good. Alright. So we have haunted asylums. Alright, so we already went over the Central State, Indiana hospital. Alright, so we have the Morgan House. So there's also a documentary of the Central State Hospital. It's on YouTube. It's called Central State Hospital Documentary, Indianapolis, Indiana. Alright, so we have the Morgan House. It's a property in Kingston, Indiana. So Morgan House is a property in Kingston, also known as the Pest House. I think we went over this. It was said to be an insane asylum, as well as a treatment center for those suffering from smallpox. During an outbreak in the early 1900s, victims were put inside and no one was allowed to enter, so the death rate was obviously very high. And the spirits of those condemned to die inside are said to still haunt the building. One local historian visited the building and was met by a strange woman who said no one was home and closed the door. We offer her cookies. So he knocked again and was about to leave when the owners returned home. Confused as no one was meant to be in the house, they all checked the property but found no trace of the woman. Well, that's a little scary. A little creepy, not too bad. So we already went over the hauntings of the Willard Library. So now we have the Floyd County Asylum in New Albany, Indiana. So this is cool. This is really cool. I'm loving the old insane asylums. Alright, so the insane asylum in New Albany began life as a poorhouse to help those in the community having difficulties. So it was partially destroyed in a fire in 1916, and the current building was built after this. So while there are few stories associated with the building, an investigation conducted by the Paraholics group in 2015 showed that there were ghosts in the premises. So, from lights being turned on and off to voices speaking the names of the investigators, there was plenty to show from their experiments. So, there's also a graveyard on the premises that seemed to be connected with the spirits, perhaps being buried there after dying within the walls of the asylum. That's sad. That's really actually pretty sad. So, this all took place before the advancements of psychology and psychiatry and all of that good stuff. Okay. The most haunted Indiana mansion access this site. Well, that sucks. Okay, here's one. Alright, this is from indianaghosts.org. So, ooh, this one looks really nice. Okay, so, haunted a house in Lafayette, Indiana. I've heard about this. So, I was attending Purdue University as a graduate student, and in my second year, I rented a house. It was divided into 2 apartments. I rented one of them on Main Street in Lafayette, Indiana. I can't remember the exact address, but the house was located just across the street from the fire station. I know exactly where that is. Wow, very creepy. Okay, so when my roommate and I first moved in, I had trouble going to sleep at night because the house just felt creepy at night. It was an old Victorian-style house, and I just told myself that the creepiness and the creaks and the groans that I thought I heard at night were just the sound of old houses. That's what I thought when we moved in here. So it took me a couple of months to shake the feeling that someone was watching me from the door of my bedroom every night. Several months later, my roommate, who was also a grad student, got some news from her mother who lived in Arizona, that she had spoken with a friend of hers who was supposedly in touch with spirits on the other side. So, these spirits told my friend's mother that my friend and I were surrounded by dark energy in the house that we were living in. This friend of her mother specifically mentioned the basement and the garage as being peculiar, whatever, full of dark energy. So the interesting thing to me was that her mother wasn't aware that there was a garage, which was attached to the basement. We didn't have access to the garage, and we only had access to one small portion of the basement, which was more than enough. Yeah, I have my thing with basements, especially the one here. It was a very bad experience, so never again. Ever. Alright. So, I was a bit skeptical about this information from my friend's mother. But it was also interesting that I had never told my roommate about my feelings about the house when we first moved in, so I shared my thoughts and feelings with her then. I also added that in the time we had been there, I had grown increasingly wary of the stairwell. I often felt cold in the stairwell and frequently had the sensation that someone was behind me when I walked down the stairs. I also had the sense on a few occasions that whoever or whatever was behind me might try to push me down the stairs. I always get that. I always feel like someone's going to push me down my stairs. Probably my dog. I mean, okay. A few months later, my friend moved out, and another friend decided to move in the house with me. Okay, so I told this friend about my feelings toward the house, and what my former roommate's mother said about the house. We decided to ask her mother's friend, to ask another friend of ours, who was a Wiccan, oh god, great, here we go, to come to the house and cleanse it. When she did, we told her nothing about which parts of the house which was the most disturbing to us. As she went from room to room, downstairs and upstairs, she cleansed the house in all 4 directions with holy water and with a sage smudge stick. After she finished, she asked us if we knew if anything had happened in the stairwell. I asked her why, and she said that the smudge stick almost died out when she went up the stairs. She had to blow on it to get it to go again. So she said that this was an indication of the presence of energy or a spirit in that part of the house. How tightly was the house locked up? It's also an indication of the lack of oxygen. Or a bad smudge stick. Oh shit, my ass is numb. Wow. Yeah, that's all numb. Okay, so. Okay, so after the cleansing, we didn't have many problems for several months. Ouch. But eventually the house became active again. Before we moved out, we endured more than a few months of issues with whatever was in that house. We heard strange voices through the telephone when we tried to call friends and relatives. I've had that before, and that's honestly very creepy. So, our cat was terrorized by whatever was there when we weren't in the house. The stairwell became increasingly more disturbing to the point that I refused to go down the stairs in the middle of the night. And we spent our last month burning sage incense to calm the energy until we could get out of that house. So, on one occasion, we went into the laundromat to do some laundry, but realized that we had forgotten to bring our detergent. We drove back to the house, and when we went inside to get the detergent, we didn't see the cat downstairs. She usually met us at the door when she heard the car, and we looked all over the house calling her name, and we couldn't find her. I finally checked beneath one of the beds and noticed a bulge in the fabric under the mattress. I touched the bulge and realized it was the cat, who had then proceeded to hiss and growl at me. She was terrified by something to the point she had scratched into the fabric and crawled up into the mattress to hide. Wow. Okay, we finally calmed her down, and we got her out of the mattress. Wow. Before heading back out to finish our laundry. Wow. The cat actually dug its way inside the mattress. Are you sure it wasn't pregnant? Trying to find a place to get babies? To birth babies? Okay, so that experience was so disturbing to me that when I moved out of that house, I also moved out of Lafayette, out of the state of Indiana. Okay. It was the freakiest thing I've ever experienced, and I never want to be near that house again. Why? Why not? That would be amazing. It'd be fun. It'd be amazing. Oh wow. What is this? So there's a lot here. We have Blood Cemetery, which I think is pretty interesting. Maybe not. Blood Cemetery. How do I get... A gift or a curse. Alright, so... yeah. This is odd. This is really odd. Bigfoot in Indiana. Trying to find... none of these actually have... yeah, none of these have anything. So yeah, that's the end of that. Wow, people have some really crazy stories. So, I was kind of looking for, more, witches of Indiana and just, our normal fun stuff, but it's not there, so nothing more. So, coffee talk. But yes, everything is better. I feel 100% better from not having that stupid ghost box thing, which was ridiculous. I mean, really stupid. Okay. Hi guys. Hello. Alright, here we go. Wicked Witch. Hi my love. How are you? I love you. So, okay, mine, that is actually a real ghost box. It didn't do that to me. I was a skeptic till I turned around and saw a full spirit apparition in a sit-down hunch position, but that was 5 years ago. I don't need a box to hear spirits since their eyes open. Yeah, I don't either. I just see them and hear them. But mine, you hear full voices, but not sure. The only thing sure is the spirits I work with. You probably are getting ready for a new change in your life when things go right. Actually, yeah, that's what the card said. It's exactly what the card said. It's crazy. Alright. Annalisa. Hi, how are you? Happy Friday. Alright, oh no. Energy drains, depression, yeah, good idea to shift gears. Fuck ghost boxes. That's why I know the Ouija's safer. That's just, I mean, it is. It totally is. Sierra Jameson? Please respond to my message on Twitter. What is your message on Twitter? Oh, hold on. Okay, Sierra. I know that you don't believe that Zach Bagans' reactions are real, so I wanted to know your thoughts on YouTubers such as Mr. Hunting the Dead. I don't know who that is. EA Coetting. I think I think Eric is an amazing man. I love Eric. That's all I have to say. Amazing. Orly Stewart, don't know who that is. And or VK Jenum? I don't know any of those people except for EA. But yes, I do like EA. He is, yes, a very, very awesome, very true, genuine guy. I have nothing negative to say to him. Alright, Wicked Witch. My heart races. That doll is haunted, trust me. Oh, Lily? Yeah, I know she is. She has to be. I love her. Wicked Witch. Ryan, I miss you bunches. I miss you too. Alright. The Punisher, 777. Hello, how are you? Hello, Ryan. Just thought I'd drop in and say this video was great. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, shout out Annalisa. Crimson Kyoko. Drew's Paranormal Vlog. Hi. Hi. How are you? S Sun. Hi. How are you? Yeah, I will definitely be using the board with my grandma, so no worries, guys. No worries at all. Alright, Kansas Ghost Stories. Hello, shout out. My Lou, I love you. Jen Zach. Hi, darling. How are you? Lilith Goddess. Truth is Freedom. Hello, Robert O'Donnell. Hello. Hi, beautiful. Lisa Oaks. Margarita. Hi. Jade. Hello. I hope you're feeling better. Veronica. Hi. How are you? Gay Misanthrope. Hi. Candy Pops. Hello. Johnny Tucker. Shout out. Trash Raven. Hi. How are you? I hope you are well. Dawn. Hello. How are you? Groovy Baby 777. I still don't know what day it is. Yeah, actually I do. It's Friday. Marjorie, hi. Hi. Alright. Dark Prince Lucy. Hi. You better be up to no good. Alright. Melody. Hi, my queen of negativity. I love you. Damini Das. Hello. Not you people. Eric Coleman. God, please protect me after watching this. What about before and during? Why are you watching this to begin with? There you go. Traylon Hollier. God, please protect me and my family forever. Oh my god. All I can do is laugh. Master Gods. Yes, I saw that Zozo under the table the first time. The second time it was gone. No, you didn't. I can assure you, no, you did not. Famke Freckles? Hello. How are you? Lex. Hi. Kate the Witch. Hi, my darling. Jessica Andrews. Shout out. Hedge Fredrickson. Why do you see the need to protect, shield yourself if it's all in your head? Because your mind is very powerful. If you know anything about psychology, Psych 101, then that would not be a question for you. So I suggest that you get a book on psychology and read it. Degen Dinners. Hi, men. I can help you wint black magic if you want to. Really? No. Learn how to spell. Damini Das. I'm from India. I'm new to this. Are you really? I want to go to India. I love it. The culture is, amazing. And the food looks... Okay. Anyway. Wired Ferret. Hi, darling. Lady Witch. Hello. February 19th. It's not the 19th yet. Dang it. Madame Sophia, I love you. Mike Hernandez. 2019, anybody? Yes. That video has been up I don't know how long, and people are still watching it. Going on Grumpy. Hey. Hola. I hope you are well. Alright, guys. So, I hope that answered some of your questions. I'm just totally loving the ghost stories. It's so fun. So, I will see you all tomorrow. Time to clean, cleanse, spiritually, physically, all of it. So, okay, and then sushi first. So, hiccups. Okay, I love you all. Oh, my heart. All the way from Venus. All the way back down. So, yes, I will see you guys tomorrow. And whatever you guys want to see, let me know below. So, I love you all. Thank you guys for watching. And sorry I laughed at a lot of the comments, but I can't help it. So, alright guys, I love you all very much.